Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey here. I know it's been a while. First things first, a little bit of an update. A reason why there's been a huge delay. My recording program had an update, and then after the update, everything started going screwy. I actually tried to record this replay twice, and every time something went wrong. So that's why there's been this huge delay. But I have a few replays set up, so hopefully there shouldn't be as much of an issue now. Secondly, do you notice the costume in the background? For fighting game fans out there, you may recognize it. You'll be happy to know I'm not cosplaying. That's just something I found in my closet from a few years ago, back when I dabbled in it. Lastly, I've still been trying to record Marvel Heroes. Again, recording program iffy, but even before that, Marvel Heroes was still not going fine. I was trying to record a review for this game called Hand of Fate. Still having issues because it keeps desyncing between the video and audio, so that'll be delayed. But it's a cool game, check it out, and if you want, just wait for my review, it'll be up in about a week's time-ish. So this is a ranked game where I played Dark Seer from like about a week ago, and because I was requested, we'll be watching this from player perspective, because apparently people want to see my frantic right-clicking in my perspective things. Anyway, so why Dark Seer? Dark Seer is a hero that can pretty much go anywhere and do anything except, you know, be a carry. He could mid, he's not the best of mids, but he could. He can offlane very well because of Ion Shell. He can jungle very well because of Ion Shell, unless you're unlucky enough to have like all Mud Golem cams, which is impossible. He can support in safe lane with Ion Shell. Okay, he can do almost any role at the beginning during the laning phase because of Ion Shell, and he transitions well into almost any team lineup except for ganking lineups, in my opinion. Like, he's very good for pushing, he's very good for clashes. Ganking, not so much. There are better heroes for ganking. Like, he's not bad at it, but his cooldowns mean that, you know, better off doing something else. And one nice thing about him is that in the MMR brackets which I'm at, which is below average, which is about 2.6, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, I've been fluctuating around there. Games tend to go on longer and people tend to get better items, so your wall of replica tends to scale up really, really well. Like, if your games are going 40 minutes plus, Dark Seer is a general good hero because that wall will have all of the enemy's items. I don't usually get Aghanims on him though. I usually get it for the auras. So if you know your, like for instance, Wraith King comes with a very good lifesteal aura. Take that, and suddenly your team's in a good position. Phantom Assassin's illusion will have his crit. Juggernaut's illusion will have his crit. Shut up. Anyway. So this was a very interesting game as well because we opened up with an aggressive Trilane, which means that 3 people in the offlane. I do land a few decent walls and vacuums in this game, but this game is a relatively short game, by the way, just heads up. But you're watching this on YouTube, so you'll be able to tell by the timer down below. Don't look at spoilers. So this was a Windranger mid, and then Axe, Ogre Magi, Dark Seer offlane, and I believe our carry was the Phantom Lancer. Meanwhile, the enemy team was a Queen of Pain mid, Wraith King Skywrath safe lane, and Phantom Assassin Juggernaut offlane. So, since people actually just want to... Player perspective, please. Once it's done shitting itself. Okay, you done? Cool. Okay, so because I'm in this like below average MMR bracket, you don't tend to have many supports. Ogre Magi does count as a support, but he wasn't really responding to anything I was saying, so I bought the courier and the ward, and I gave a ward to mid. Did I give a word to mid or did I give a word to Phantom Lancer? Yeah, I gave a ward to Phantom Lancer. Whoops. So that he could ward the gank spot over here on the map, where my cursor is hovering. Things. Whatever. Anyway, we'll focus on me then. So, by right, the only level 1 skill Dark Seer should have is Ion Shell, but I didn't put the point yet because if there was an option for me to vacuum someone onto the high ground, I wanted to try and take it. It's very hard with a level 1 vacuum, but it's still worth trying sometimes. Unfortunately, as you can see where my cursor is going, I'm actually trying to hover it over, but yeah, that wasn't far enough. It was a shame. It would have been pretty cool if we could isolate the Skywrath. Usually when you're in this below average MMR brackets, people don't usually respond to being put on cliffs early on very well. Now ideally Axe would have been the one we wanted to get the bounty rune, but the Ogre Magi just went to grab it, and at this point we were like, whatever. The ward here is very convenient. I'm just going to quickly go to free camera. So as you can see, the Dire team cannot see this ward right here. So just a good spot to remember this bush right here. And we'll go back to player perspective. So yeah, we're not getting much EXP, but the Wraith King is not in a position to tank much. And really, if the Ogre Magi had gone for a level 1... Yeah, oh, he went for a level 1 Ignite. What am I doing? He should be using the level 1 Ignite more then. Get a lot of harassment on the Wraith King. And then the Wraith King will literally not be able to handle whatever happens next. So we'll look at the EXP per minute because that's one of the bigger issues right now. The big question whenever this sort of thing happens is the trade-off worth it? And as you can see, Wraith King's getting about 200 EXP per minute. And I mean, if you add up between me, the Ogre Magi, and the Axe, we're making up for it. So this is worth it right now. Windranger got a kill at mid against the Queen of Pain. I'm not gonna bother looking at it. We're gonna watch how I play. So the vacuum really isn't doing much right now. I'm just like, if we had gotten Ion Shell, this would have been a lot more efficient. So I took a risk by taking vacuum at level 1, and it didn't really pay off. But now I've got Ion Shell, and suddenly things start happening even more. Like, you can just watch this. By the way, Skywrath is still level 1. His EXP per minute has been 0, which is a big deal. And of course, we get to see the Wraith King coming in because of this ward right here. So why is the Axe doing this? Because the Axe needs to get EXP for all 3 of us. It's unfortunate. The Phantom Lancer got a kill on the Jug at bottom, but Phantom Assassin wrapped around and did stuff. So what should you do if you're the enemy against this sort of Trilane? Well, if you're Skywrath, you should just harass a whole ton. But the Skywrath went for the level 1 slow, which is a big problem, which is the main reason why the Skywrath is doing so badly right now. But I mean, all in all, we're making up for the EXP difference. So it's like we're slightly lower level than them, but we're fine. We're in a good position, and the tower's in a good position too. It is unfortunate that at this MMR level people can't deal with certain gimmicks like axes, pulling the creep wave, cutting the creep wave, or Rikimaru's. So the Queen of Pain rotates. This is a good move. I planned the Ion Shell on Axe because at this point really Axe is just the core person we should be trying to do stuff with. They get the kill on Ogre Magi, but they've rotated 4 people up here. Windranger has free farm at mid. And yeah, so Axe is getting a kill right here. I get a kill on the Phantom Assassin. I probably could have gone in. I was a bit too hesitant there, and that cost... I mean, I don't think I could have saved Axe, but I could have at least killed Phantom Assassin before Axe died, and that would have given him a bit more EXP that would have been a lot more worth it. Now, I don't like Windranger rotating up here, because this is a lot of time where Windranger should be farming. Now compared to Queen of Pain, Windranger could use more farm. because Queen of Pain does a lot of magic burst, whereas Windranger, she can if she goes mid, she can scale and become a good tower pusher. So I came bot lane for a while just to show a bit of a presence. I wasn't expecting us to actually get a kill, but this was just to frighten. So I missed my vacuum. So I can't even recall what my build was for this game because it was a while ago. In fact, I've watched this replay and I had a few points to bring up. But because I recorded this twice and my recorder broke, and I just sat around here going, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to record this again for like the third time in 2 days. So I decided, you know what, I'll just wait until the next update. And they recorded it, they fixed my recorder and they patched it. So things are happening at top. I am not going to look at it. As much as I want to analyze it, I will focus on this hero that I'm using. So anyone who wants to learn this hero can... Okay, so this is a big one. So Dark Seer is one of the slowest attack animations in the game, and I didn't cancel my... I cancelled my animation too early. So she got like an extra 1.5 seconds on that healing salve, and she's now actually going to rotate to top, and she's going to cause a bit of a mess. Like, as you can see in the map, I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen. On the map, the pink star right here, and things are gonna die. I think we'll take a look for a while. See, Windranger just went down. Yeah, no kills we got in, and Queen of Pain just blinks in and finishes the kill. It was unfortunate. And then Ogre Magi is in the worst place possible. I will say that in terms of this game, like, he wasn't horrible, but the Ogre Magi was one of the weaker players, and it showed in this ending MMR. The main thing is that this Ogre Magi didn't have a bad build per se, but it's just that the Ogre Magi was in a really bad position most of the time. I'm expecting that the Ogre Magi planned to lane with the Phantom Lancer, and the Phantom Lancer and him were on VoIP or something, because early on the Ogre Magi went along with the Trilane, but seemed to take a while to make a move, and I believe it's just that the Ogre Magi was still a little new. The Phantom Lancer was a pretty good player, and the Phantom Lancer did have a higher MMR, so he's probably just, you know, guiding his friend. So this is what you do. You just go into the jungle. Ion Shell is a great way to farm up these camps. Early on, you can plant the Iron Shells on the weaker creep in the camp, and you can stack camps and all that jazz. So what are you trying to achieve with Dark Seer? You're trying to win lanes. Like with Dark Seer, the main deal is you want to win lanes. You want to make sure that your lanes all have good farm or good scores. And there was a double damage rune. I took it just to deny it because Windranger went bottom. And when you're up against a Queen of Pain who has Blink, you don't really want to take a chance of her grabbing it. So, aside from winning lanes, you can build into a tank or utility depending. So, I landed a very poor vacuum. I put an Iron Shell on Axe because really Axe is like... Any damage, yeah, that I'm unfortunately blocking the Axe. Any damage that the Ogre Magi did was a bonus at that point. I will say though, the early bloodlust by the team caused... Well, that was pretty cool. I landed a vacuum and that landed into Berserker's Call. Unfortunately, it doesn't... Oh, never mind. I was going to say that there was no follow-up, but there was a follow-up. It's called Culling Blade. Kills. It kills things. I will say that in the initial bloodlust of us getting kills up top, we didn't get the tower as early as we would have liked. When it goes that well at the start, you really want to be pressuring that tower, because that tower gold is reliable gold. I mean, kills are the reliable gold too, but that early tower, that huge influx of gold for everyone is a very big deal to help all lanes, and also to buy you space. because especially when you're talking about heroes like Axe, you want as much space as possible. So I gave Surge to Axe, and Axe, as you can see, has Blink at like before 9 minutes. So there goes Phantom Assassin. And like our Axe has hit a good snowball point. The aggressive Trilane has worked. And this is a pretty good aggressive Trilane. Ion Shell is a great skill. Ogre Magi is a good one. Normally I would say you could go for someone like Lina instead of Ogre Magi. You'd try to get someone ranged, so you could get someone like Lina, you could get someone like Vengeful. These two people don't really require much gold, they just could use the EXP. Give me a sec to get a drink. So I get Arcane Boots. Usually I go for the early Soul Ring, but my farm was so good this time around I didn't want to risk dying and losing gold, so I just went for the Soul Ring. So Ogre Magi gets a kill on the Phantom Assassin at bot. As you can see, I took a quick look, saw that Phantom Lance would be fine because Ogre Magi was there. And also because we had Ogre Magi, so that we had two different Arcane Boots, so I didn't really think I would need the mana at all. I really just expected to go straight for something tanky. I think I build mech. I'm not sure what this Ring of Health is going to build into, or if it builds into a Soul Ring. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know what I'm doing. Why are you listening to me? Why are you watching me? This was really unfortunate, because this is about to turn really ugly. So, the Juggernaut uses his ult to try and escape, and yeah. This wall is nicely placed so that like the fights are pretty much in our favor all the time. I should be going in. That's really bad of me. I should have put an Ion Shell on the Ogre Magi. And now all I did was just stand and eat Queen of Pain's ult. So I'm not paying for myself, and I used Surge on the Ogre Magi, so I ended up, you know, failing pretty hard. So again, my hesitation is punishing me. Like, I could have put in an Ion Shell on Ogre Magi and then backed off. I mean, in the end, we traded 2 for 1. Axe died to Wraith King. I'm assuming somewhere up top. And yeah, I'm building for a mech. So mech is just for the push ability, because especially early, the laning phase has pretty much ended very early, because none of the lanes are safe. The minute you have a good ganker like Axe with a blink dagger, the next 5 or 10 minutes are you just playing defensively, because he will be able to get on you the minute he sees you on the map. He uses a TP scroll, he walks a bit, and then he blinks, and then he does his shenanigans. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do anything. Yeah, I know it seems like a waste using the wall for just one, but at the time I thought that Wraith King would still be nearby. Because I thought there's no way Queen of Pain would be there if Wraith King wasn't around, so... Either way, it enabled the Axe to use his Culling Blade before Queen of Pain blinked away. And it was just so fortuitous that Ogre Magi was around because Axe survived, but then Stifling Dagger crit. So that was unfortunate. So it was trade not in our favor, because they're about equal priority right now. Well, this makes it in our favor. They're about equal priority, Axe and Queen of Pain right now. But when you are winning, an equal trade is not to your favor. That's just a general rule. I have no idea what was happening in... I think this was on SEA, and I mean, some people there don't go into games speaking English, or they don't prefer to speak English, so yeah. Not saying anything, just saying sometimes it's a bit hard to understand you. I think there was a lot of drama on the enemy team. I will say the Queen of Pain is probably their best player, but it's also their most toxic player, so whatever. So I'm playing really defensively, and as you can notice, I'm still having mana issues. Like, I'm starting to feel like Soul Ring is a must. I'm starting to appreciate Soul Ring on more heroes, like Rubik. I actually have a Rubik game that I'll be showing you guys where I played Rubik in Ranked. Unfortunately, it's a really long game, and I thought I'd just get this one done first. But yeah. So what is the build I'm going for? Well, the build I'm going for is literally meant to be effective early on. So get things like a mech, maybe get a Yules, maybe get a Force Staff, these kind of items, and then just try and be able to bring a lot to team fights without much farm. Like, I can get farm if I wanted. I actually landed the wall, but unfortunately it was not enough. And they're not within range, but by right, we should be using the wall I've put up to get this tower for free. But instead they went to get 2 kills, so I guess that's okay. We actually had a brief vision of Phantom Assassin in the Ancient Camp, but I think I didn't realize it myself. So that is unfortunate. By the way, I would generally say that tier 2 towers are the most important towers to take down, because taking down a tier 2 tower buys you so much room. I mean, taking any mid tower is a big deal, but taking a tier 2 of either top or bottom lane is usually a huge issue. Whether you either threaten their ancient camps, their secret shop, their jungle, all these good things. I'll stop them from getting it. So I'm getting TP scrolls, I'm getting wards, because I believe we saw that Wraith King was had a shadow amulet. I just wanted some gold, so I was like, yeah, you can go kill your pa. I'm gonna go home. So it's a fairly straightforward game so far. Just heading back, resting up. I could use some rest. I could use quite a bit of rest, actually. So, let's talk about enemy responses to Dark Seer. When you see a Dark Seer on the enemy team, the first thing you want to do is play your lanes very defensively. Dark Seer is great at stopping early aggression in lanes. Dark Seer is also great in stopping... Well, Dark Seer doesn't really start aggression as much. Like, he can facilitate it with someone else, but he's not like someone who just says, you know what, I can aggressive Trilane and be the one that causes things. Like, Ogre Magi and the Axe are the ones that really got the aggressive Trilane rolling, and I was just there to give more. Because he's a bit of an in-between. He's very neutral, Dark Seer. He's not extremely defensive, he's not extremely aggressive. But he does do better in like counter pushes and counter ganks. Usually, if you have a Dark Seer, you want to actually partner up with someone with a bit more follow-up. So Axe is a good... That's unfortunate. Axe is a good person. Oh, so Axe got ganked at top. We see the Jug because of this one catapult. They don't see us, I believe. So this happened. This wall was a really bad one because I tried to use vacuum like a standard CC, which is never really a good idea. Generally, you want to try and use vacuum as a follow-up or to enable someone else's skill. Okay, I don't know why I'm looking here. That's my fault. So I put an Iron Shell on the Ogre Magi. That's a good one. And I was just vacuuming the Queen of Pain to buy us more time so that she'd be in my Iron Shell and maybe someone would have a follow-up, but she blinked away, so nothing to worry about. Just like that, we're now in the lead. So usually with illusion runes, I like to get them as supports, and I use them as basically wards. So I've essentially just sent them out to go stand in certain places. So as you can see, through the mini-map, one is watching over the tier 2 tower that I essentially decided to just make it attack the tier 2 tower directly. And one is watching our jungle because I'm worried about Axe. I will say, as a little tip, if you play ranked, figure out who the best player is. And, I mean, if you really feel it's you, go ahead, but you know, I'm judging you a little bit. But find the best player and, like, just make their game as smooth as possible. Because if you can identify who's the player you want to guard the most, you'll be in a good spot. So, this illusion was just standing here and it's in my jungle. So they don't realize it's me. And Wraith King is just going after my illusion, and I landed a wall. I should have planted the wall first. So my wall's only hitting like 2 people. So far that is a 1-for-1. But this now just became a 2-for-1. Windranger should have just used a power shot. That was unfortunate, so Windranger dies. And my illusions are apparently farming jungle creeps. Because why not, right? So that was a 3-to-1. And Phantom Lancer is losing this one. And then Ogre Magi just went in alone. So that happens. Unfortunate. So I should have planted wall before vacuum. That's a big deal. Windranger should have probably just backed off. Like, we just streamlined in one at a time, and at that point it was just free farm for them. So, standard lessons, don't go in one at a time. Go in as a group, or don't go in at all. Unless you're very sure that you can somehow get a rampage. And I yawn because I feel immense amounts of disdain for people who do that. Let me just say this, I've been playing so many ranked games, I've seen all sorts of stupid shit. I mean, I'll be honest, I commit a lot of stupid mistakes too, but I'm not one of those people who will claim to be amazing. I have a lot of commendations for being friendly on my account for a reason. Unfortunately, that kill didn't happen. So, Queen of Pain gets away. A little bit more, one more spin would have been enough. The Culling Blade, all these little things. I heard that sound, the sound of a Shadow Blade, so I figured that Wraith King must have been nearby. We didn't have any vision wards down, sentry wards, so. What am I building next? I think I was confused. Like, what do I want? Yeah, this was a pretty interesting fight. See, we see Queen of Pain, but we don't really want to just go in on her. I planted that sentry ward, not the best of wards, unfortunately. But I was still worried that I might get ganked because I'm a melee hero and I'm in front most of the time. So Wraith King goes on me while they're all going on the Queen of Pain. I plant Iron Shell on things. Like, I die, but my wall at least hit 3 people. And the illusions are getting me kills. I just got a double kill with illusions. Oh, apparently my wall hit 4 people. I have a Phantom Assassin, Juggernaut, Wraith King, and Skywrath Illusion, 2 of which I weren't using at all. But Ogre Magi gets a kill on the Wraith King. Yeah, because of his Ignite. So lessons to be learned from this. I would recommend, if you're up against teams with people like Dark Seer or anyone with a good amount of CC, focus the control first. Because even if your team can do more damage, if they can control you long enough for them to have the advantage there, or a better positioning, it's not really going to be worth it. So go for control. I think I was considering Blink Dagger, and eventually I decided, you know what, I'm just going to stop the Queen of Pain, because the Queen of Pain is the one who's really doing the most damage. Like, yeah, even in that fight, it was really the Queen of Pain that's doing stuff. Because she has so much AoE burst, and she is actually matching us with levels. In fact, she is at a higher level than us. Like, Phantom Assassin's a danger, but Crimson Guard isn't really going to stop Phantom Assassin, because how Phantom Assassin works isn't about multiple attacks. I mean, she attacks pretty fast, but Phantom Assassin's about her crits. So against her, you'd probably just want to Ghost Scepter. So Invisibility Rune, I originally asked if anyone wanted it, so no one wanted it, I went back for it. So at this point, I was just roaming through the jungle. I should have actually put an Ion Shell on myself before grabbing it. That way I can just walk around the jungle and harass anyone who might have been there. Because they're obviously not getting any dusts, because my team isn't going for any sort of invisibility. So I saw the Wraith King here. I was like, can we do anything? Again, I made the mistake of doing vacuum before wall. So, yeah. That was unfortunate, actually, because we should have gotten a kill, but instead I get killed. Like, our response is pretty bad. Like, my entire list of what I did was bad. Like, I should have walled first and then vacuumed, or just not walled at all. It's not worth walling in just one when you don't know where the enemy team is. And I mean, Wraith King isn't even their biggest threat, so. But we got Phantom Assassin, we got Wraith King. I won't even say that this is a trade, because I just died because of stupidity. And of course Phantom Lancer does Phantom Lancer things, like make a whole ton of illusions. I'm a little sleepy, just be nice. Did you notice my haircut? I really don't have much to say. Things are happening. We're pushing lanes. Now, why am I pushing a separate lane? It's simply because in the time it would take me to get to them, they'd probably have either won or lost the fight already. Plus, my wall wasn't up yet, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to push this lane. Because by the time I've pushed this lane to you guys, I can just rotate to mid if you still need me. But you know what, they didn't need me, because they already started getting barracks. See? So at this point, people are coming back, I just rotate while a lane is pushing bottom. It's good. Because one thing when you're winning is you want to make sure that the lanes are still pushed up so that you can take their jungle. Because taking their jungle is kind of a big deal. Okay, so it looks like most of my pipe is done. I'm still buying wards. Wards are a pretty big deal because, I'll be honest, our team is based around aggression. Like if you think about the carries, for instance. Phantom Lancer versus Phantom Assassin is in Phantom Lancer's favor unless Phantom Assassin gets a Battle Fury. And one thing I didn't do this game is I didn't check items, and that's a bad habit of mine, I don't check items enough. I'll actually show you a game where I didn't play too well, and one of the main flaws I didn't do was check items. Because, especially in Dota, a single item can drastically affect someone's ability to take you on. So if Phantom Assassin gets a Battle Fury, Phantom Lancer is actually not going to be an issue. But as long as Phantom Assassin doesn't have a Battle Fury, Phantom Lancer will be fine. But Phantom Lancer is a very aggressive sort of carry. He doesn't do well with the extreme late game as well as others, because he does Like, his skill depends on, and we are in a bad position. So I'm just trying to stand in my wall right now to, you know, cause some problems. So Phantom Assassin is desperately trying to avoid my wall. Okay, I have no idea what I was doing. Okay, so apparently decided to go back because I wasn't in a position to do much. I have no idea how I killed Juggernaut. Was it with my Iron Shell? It was probably with my Iron Shell on someone. Unfortunately, Ogre Magi died. So let's take a review of what I did. I planted an Iron Shell. That's always good. My wall could have been better, but it wasn't bad either. I just didn't have a vacuum to follow it up. Or at least I didn't have a good one. Like, I vacuumed Skywrath, but Skywrath isn't someone who I actually care about, because he doesn't do much right click anyway. So essentially, all my wall did to Skywrath was 150 damage. And he doesn't even have any auras. Because Skywrath is so underfarmed right now. Like, Skywrath has just 2 null talismans. And I'm going to, spoiler warning, he ends the game with 2 null talismans and brown boots. He's level 11. It's unfortunate he did so badly against the harass, despite the fact that he should actually do fairly well against it. Because if I'm not wrong, Skywrath has a pretty decent attack range. So this happens, Axe decides to go in, so I figure I need to stay. Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately. Axe apologized, but I said it was okay. When in that sort of position, I felt that I had to just try. Maybe Axe would get lucky and spin 1,000,000 times a second. Or maybe he wouldn't spin at all and then we just die and give 2 kills. But it's Dota. That's why I tell myself every night to feel better. So let's go Skywrath. Skywrath's attack range is 600. That's on par with people like Windranger. That's on par with people like Lina. It's one of the longer ranges in the game. It's actually longer than Sniper without his take aim. Sniper's base attack range is 550, but take aim increases it by 100 per point in take aim. And then of course I'm building towards my pipe. The pipe is still going to be a pretty big deal. Because Queen of Pain is still doing well. Because, don't forget, despite the fact that the game is half an hour in, it's a very bloody game. It's like 60 plus kills. Because the laning phase ended so early, no one's at a really high level yet. Like, we have a few people at 16. But not everyone's 16. Not everyone's got core items. Because sometimes you get games like this where people don't get to farm as much. And you're just going to have to adjust to it. And that makes items like, you know, pipe, mech, last so much longer in terms of effectiveness. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a sore throat all of a sudden. Actually, I just recovered from one too. This is one of those things, I'm not pinging, so I'm a bit worried about whether or not I saw the jug here. This is this is a good ward spot, by the way. It gives you a pretty good vision over most things. Unfortunately, it doesn't look right into the Roche pit, so you'll still need to pay attention. Jug wasted his ult right there, and he didn't want to walk through my wall, which is silly because I don't think my wall pierces. Yeah, it doesn't pierce spell immunity, and Ogre Magi stuck around and killed Juggernaut, so it's fine. I surged the Ogre Magi, and Skywrath tried to chase. But I got a kill on Skywrath, and it's kind of silly, really. So, you see the Juggernaut illusion over here, right? Yeah, you know. But it does have Blade Dance, and it does have Diffusal Blade. And it doesn't take any damage from Skywrath's shit. So it's burning Skywrath's mana, and still right-clicking him. Yeah. This is why I love Wall of Replica. Oh, you have built-in crit? It's mine now too. Your auras? Mine now too. Queen of Pain gets killed. I'd used Vacuum on a Phantom Assassin who had BKB on, so that was silly. But Wraith King wasted his stun, so kills. So I have like no mana right now. I really do wish I had that Soul Ring. This is one of those things. My pipe is finished, and part of me is tempted to go and just get the courier to send it to me, or at least head back to grab it. And I don't. And I really think I should have. Because Ogre Magi is in this perpetual state of just asking for Queen of Pain to come in and kill you. I have to say I'm really glad. One of the bigger problems in below average MMR games is that players don't know how to end the game on time. That just happened. People don't know how to end the game on time, so I was pretty pleased that we were pushing the lanes so well. Like, if we look at the XP graph, we have a huge lead. Gold graph, huge lead. We're just going in for the towers at this point. That was a lovely dodge by the Phantom Lancer, which is why when I look at players do these kind of things, I'm like, I want to see what Phantom Lancer does in TI5. And just surge myself. Give myself some mana. Put an Ion Shell, and then I have 15.1 health regen per second, so I'll be back in the fight in no time. And at this point I decided that I was gonna go for a Lincoln's, I believe. Like, I think I wanted to go for a Lincoln's just so I could start protecting myself, because it did feel like they were trying to, like, at least the Wraith King was trying to control me. Of course, Phantom Lancer already has Radiance, so. And Ogre Magi dies, and this is one of those things I'm like, if I had Pipe, maybe I could have saved you. Maybe. Don't really know. But, there you go, Dark Seer. A very effective hero, nothing fantastic. So, if you've sat through this entire thing, I will put like a clip at the very end of me in another Dark Seer game landing a really, really good Dark Seer wall. I won't include that game because that game was so full of fail, but I'll include that really, really nice vacuum wall. You're welcome. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for that bonus clip, and like, comment, subscribe. Link to my Facebook in the description down below. Let me know what else you want to see. Tell me if you liked watching it in player perspective. I still prefer presenting in free camera, to be honest. But yeah, aside from that, have a good day. Bye.
Roshan and the Radiant have resolved their differences in a peaceful, diplomatic manner. More death, dominating. To an acceptable, unstoppable, wicked sick. 5 innocents driven mercilessly into the ground.